Hey there friendos, Newbornkilik here, welcoming you back to another awesome myth-busting related video. Today we'll be taking a look at The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time at 4 myths or kind of just common misconceptions about the game that we can either prove to be true or false. The last of which most likely affected you while you were a kid, but you probably didn't even realize it. Real quick, if you do enjoy the video, please do consider leaving it a like. It really does help me out and makes me feel all nice, warm, and fuzzy. But without further ado, let us get into the first lesser-known fact of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And that is, the Goron Tunic not only protects you from lava, but also protects you from all ground-based elements. So think the spikes in the Shadow Temple, it will protect you from those as well, or so the myth goes. Please do keep in mind, we'll be using cheats and codes to get to the relevant points in the game, but they shouldn't have any bearing on the actual myths themselves. Head through these spikes. I forgot, I don't have a shield, I can't duck. And we can see that there are these spikes on the floor here. Pretty nasty looking little bastards, if you ask me. So let's see, I guess first let's do a control. So this is kind of standard damage. As you can see, they hurt a good bit. You know, they don't feel too great. And Link is in pain, even though he's not on any of the sharp bits, but you know, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and put the red tunic on here and see if we take less damage. Interesting. Okay, so do you still take damage? And wait, did I take damage that time? Okay, so the red tunic doesn't seem to actually reduce the amount of damage that you take. It looks like it just slows down the damage more than anything, which if you recall the Goron Tunic, it says that it's a heat-resistant tunic, so it really has no business working on these spikes or anything, but it does, which to me would imply that all of the, you know, kind of ground-based hazards are all coded the exact same way. So if you really wanted to, you could look at this as just a pile of lava. I don't think the blue tunic does anything to it, does it? It sure does not. Okay, good to know. What about the hover boots, I wonder? Ah, okay, well hover boots kind of work, because you're floating across the top for a little bit. I wouldn't say it's the most useful information, but we know it now. So I can confidently say that yes, the Goron Tunic does kind of protect you from floor spikes as well as lava. Again, they're kind of just coded in the exact same way, it appears. Up next, we have an idea from Sage of Games, and that simply is, what if you play the Song of Time at the Door of Time without all 3 of the spiritual stones? And this one's a bit more complicated. We have to figure out a way to trigger that cutscene without actually having all 3 of the spiritual stones. But Sage's question here was basically, is it tied to actually having the 3 spiritual stones, or is it tied to having the Song of Time, or all of the above? Well, first things first, I think we need to go ahead and just, you know, leave Kokiri Village here by completely legitimate means. Oh, you want me to have the ocarina, don't you? Yes. Oh, I'll take really good care of it. Don't worry, I've already painted it. So I need to figure out a way to get this cutscene to trigger. I have an idea. Let's just go defeat Baronade. Perhaps having the 3rd stone will trigger the cutscene here. I suppose I should have mentioned this before. This will be in kind of like a pseudo Let's Play format, but you know, I'm going to be giving some commentary throughout the way as well. We could technically use a randomizer ROM, but there are a lot of differences between the randomizer and the vanilla ROM, so I'd like to avoid doing that if at all possible. Wonder if I can even get in here without Zelda's Lullaby. You sure can. All right. And we're in Zora's domain. For once, I legitimately do need to drop a fish. Not for the memes, but for actually it's necessary in the video. Truly, this is a momentous occasion for all of us. Bet no one's ever hit it with their sword before, chat. You're chat now, all right? Just get used to it, accept it. Or you could legitimately come over and be chat on twitch.tv/Newbornkilik. Just saying, you could do that if you wanted to. All right, well, let's go slap Baronade real quick. That's that. All right. A spiritual stone of water obtained. You don't know what she's talking about, but you've collected 2 spiritual stones? What? I've never seen this dialogue before. There's actually dialogue for if you leave Dodongo's cavern and come and get this. I had no idea. That's wild. Okay, hey, that's really neat. I really don't want to talk about how long it took for me to think about the idea that I can just give myself infinite bombs. I don't want to hear it out of you, all right? Oh yeah, it looks like there are many lava pits around here. Boy, it sure would be unfortunate to step into one of those, wouldn't it, yeah? You know what else would be unfortunate? Wasting a goddamn hour trying to figure out how to get through a hole when you could have easily just gone through and done the intended way much faster. But that would be admitting defeat. And if there's one thing we don't do on this channel, it's admit defeat. Dodongo, more like idiot, defeated dummy. Anyway, moving forward. You don't know what he means by sworn brothers, but you finally collected all 3 stones. Go back to the Princess Zelda. The game thinks we have all 3, but we simply do not. And I am genuinely curious what that means for us. It means I'm going to just roll directly into that bug, or that Tektite. My tech might have rolled right into it. I'm genuinely curious if the cutscene will play right now. It should be starting very soon? Oh, there's no cutscene. Okay, well, no cutscene means no song. Let me go talk to Princess Zelda. Maybe there's a flag there that I missed. That's it. I'm going in there. I'm going into the danger. Hey, yo, guard, what up? Oh my gosh, they're just placeholder guards. They're only real from one side. No wonder Ganon took over so easily. Gee, Zelda, you know, we really got a thing to work on here. You wouldn't happen to have the spiritual stone of the forest, would you? That green thing? I don't, actually, and that's just me being honest. My name is Subscrib. Strange, it sounds somehow familiar. Yeah, I'm sure you're all accustomed to hearing it. Oh, it's not playing. Oh no. So this is a debug version of The Legend of Zelda Master Quest, which, while it will be slightly different, should still give us everything that we need. Finally, chat, it's time to test this myth. What happens if you play the Song of Time without all 3 of the spiritual stones? If you recall, the game does think we have all 3. The song came up. Is it just going to assume we have all 3? Okay, so the cutscene's playing. I think it just assumes we have all 3. It does. Okay. Hey everybody, Editor Newbornkilik here, and I just wanted to go ahead and kind of clarify this a little bit. Technically, this myth was busted because there's no way to actually obtain the Song of Time, but looking at the wording of the myth, it's not if we can obtain the Song of Time, it's what happens if you play the Song of Time at the pedestal without all the spiritual stones. So discern what you want from this, I suppose, but technically all 3 spiritual stones are not necessary, only the Song of Time. Then again, to my knowledge, there's no way to find yourself in this situation without some pretty hardcore manipulation of the game. Up next, we have a very interesting myth in the Desert Colossus and the Spirit Temple therein. What happens if you place a warp point as a child and then use it again while as an adult? So I'm going to try this in 2 steps. I'm going to try it in an area where an adult would normally be able to warp, so just the entrance, and then we're also going to try it in an area where the adult would not be able to get to. And my anticipation is probably that it's just going to tell us that we can't do it, but that's science. We got to figure this stuff out. So our warp point is set here. Let us go ahead and head to the Temple of Time and become an adult. All right, so let's head to the Desert Colossus and see if our warp point is even still there. All right, moment of truth. It's gone. Okay, so I wonder if we head back to the Temple of Time, I wonder if this will still be there 7 years in the past. I mean, it makes sense that, you know, the magic wouldn't necessarily last for 7 years. All right, so let's see if our teleport is still there. Interesting. All right, so it seems like using the Master Sword, you know, pulling the Master Sword or anything like that just undoes all of your Pharaoh wind work. Yeah, I suppose it's probably a fail-safe put in place. Just anytime you pull the Master Sword or put the Master Sword away, all your warp points are just deleted. Probably helps prevent, you know, Child Link from getting into some places he ain't supposed to. The 4th and final myth will be that the guard in Kakariko Village doesn't actually give you a discount for the shield. Maybe this is something that's kind of plagued you as a child. For those of you that don't know, once you show the guard here this letter... By the way, Mr. Hero, if you're going to climb Death Mountain, you should equip a proper shield. It's an active volcano after all. If you go back to Hyrule Castle Town Market, you should check out the bazaar. They sell the shield you need there. Tell them I sent you and they should give you a special discount. As we can see, the guard does claim to give you a discount here, but does he actually? Okay, so welcome, and as we can see, the Hylian shield is still 80 rupees. I think it's interesting that it says the price is 80 rupees, but once you go to buy the shield, I can't purchase this right now because I have a shield already. So this whole video has been a complete disaster, and like I'm just trying to get to a scenario where I don't have the Hylian shield as a child, but because of how I set all this up, I couldn't do it. So I was like, okay, I'll switch over to one of my completed save files. And the only song I don't have on that completed save file is the Sun Song to speed up time to just make this faster. We have not purchased a shield from here yet. We actually got ours out of the grave in the Kakariko graveyard. So we should still have that discount intact. So let's see here. We have 99 rupees. It should take us down to just a couple of rupees here. So let's buy this. You heard about us from the guard at the Death Mountain Gate. Well, I have to give you a good deal then. So what is the actual discount here? He actually sells you at a 30 rupee discount, which is pretty damn good. That's almost half, actually. That's really good. So we can confirm that the whole myth that he doesn't actually give you a discount is more of an oversight by the players that claim this, just because the price shows up as 80 rupees regardless of when you buy it, and the discount isn't actually applied until after you buy it. And if you're a kid like me, you know, playing it at the time, I just spammed through the text. I never actually read, like, any of it, so it makes perfect sense why people would think that this was, you know, you don't actually get a discount here. This one's busted. You do get a 30 rupee discount, which is almost 50%. Of course, you could grave rob it for free, but that's beside the point. With that in mind, that is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you have any myths that you want me to test out, please do consider leaving them down below and let me know what you think. And if you enjoyed this video, you're gonna love this video on screen as well. Please do check it out. Check me out on Twitch. Thank you so much, my patrons and channel members as well. I'm Newbornkilik, and I will see you in the next one. I'm out.